I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is November 19, Tuesday, 2024. Hope you had a good day today. So, as we discussed yesterday, make sure you watch it so it makes sense. One of the options here, coming up a little bit and then shooting down, rating that level, and then pushing back up. So we've accomplished all this. This was a little bit exaggerated. Obviously, what they did is just pretty much wipe that out. And if you recall, if you were watching these videos, I'm actually mentioning about the 4-hour imbalance here that they did not seal and they might want to come down. So this was kind of like a little overshot. But just the logic, the idea here coming down and then pushing back up. Now we're here. We've done all this and we've came all the way up, and now we're knocking on these gaps in these areas that I mentioned yesterday in this area here. So let's go into, I'll try to make this video short here, but there's kind of a lot to talk about, but keep it simple here. As you see, we came up here in Asia and we hit that up candle and we, pretty nicely to a tick and did not go above. So they decided to come down for a raid down. So you got lower one drive, two drive, three. So with this, seeing this visually, predominant to the 15-minute, you'll see that we ended up wiping all that out, clearing all that out, right? That's for someone like me that took that trade and is still holding, right? They try to make sure that they get you out. But I also mentioned that we would also have a big push between the 18th and the 22nd, technically. So looks like they're doing it today, the 19th, right? But anyways, and that's for good measure. Also, that's the previous week low, right? So yeah. Anyways, that being said here, so much to talk about. But as you see at this price, lower low coming up, sealing that imbalance there. I'm on the 15-minute. You see that, right? Coming up in there, and then pretty much sealing most of that. Another lower low coming back up high enough to pretty much seal all that as well, and then coming down again. Now you can see these 4 consecutive candles here. When we get here, right? And I'm gonna show the trades only for my student of mine that wants to ask some questions, and so I'll just put in the video today. But in a general speaking, if you understood that this was one of the options here, right? Like and just rating, right? You'll look at when we come down here, this is not a random area. Again, make sure you got these gaps on your chart, right? But this is not a random area. And when we were here, how did I catch this, right? You're going to ask me, how did I catch this? Well, because first of all, look at 845. And then when that closes, the next candle's opening, which is the 9 o'clock candle. For the 15-minute, it's the 9 o'clock candle for the 1 hour. So what I was trying to do is, and while this was here, this is not a random level. When I say that, these are weekly levels. So when I have these all over my chart, I know they look horrible in a sense, but at the same time, these are all weekly key levels. So what time frames do we say that you need to be looking for? Higher time frame key levels. What are these gaps? These are higher time frame key levels, right? So that's why I was saying even yesterday, I want to, take the buy and push it up to these gaps. Why? Because this is another weekly level. So obviously, anyways, that being said, while we were here, I was like, I want to see the bodies respect inside here. And sure enough, it happened beautifully. How did that look like? Well, on the 15-minute, you could see it. Higher time frames, you can't see it. 1 hour, you can see it. Yes, see the bodies there? So this was transferring over here to the 1 minute. You could see this is 9 o'clock right there, this level right here. Okay, so I'm expecting a wick to get developed. How did they do it? Well, they 9 o'clock and 9:01. They push down. Now, again, I expect the bodies to stay here, but you're going to see some wick, right? And just to show the trade, not that trade, this one. So if you're gonna ask me, oh, you're a fraud, how did you get it? Well, listen, I understand the scenario here. What's the scenario? Well, this 1 o'clock, this 9:01 candle pushes down and it's pushing back up. Right? Because it's extended. It's a full-blown bearish candle. I buy bearish candles, if that makes sense, obviously, right? But what do I got here? Oh, how convenient. This is what I look for. This is like, bro, it doesn't get any sweeter than this. But then at the time, this was also a bold-faced bearish candle. But the 15-minute now, it's poking up, and now we're sitting here. I pushed the button. Now, I did not do double leverage, which I should have. But at the same time, I'm anticipating this, and it panned out. So, what are you going to say? But also, when I take a trade like this, you could write this for your notes. When I take a trade like this, and you're like, well, why don't you wait for the confirmations of the inversions here? And I didn't draw this one out, but I could have. I didn't need to, but could draw it right there. So these two right there. So there's one right here, and then there's one right here. Well, I'm not taking a buy, generally speaking, unless obviously we rated something, but also generally speaking, if there's not a bearish imbalance above, because I'm expecting that to be then an inversion, right? And then this makes sense. But if you look at every trade I've ever took, go look at all the videos, they all have this common thing here. Now I'm giving you my game here, right? So, ain't nobody can tell me shit. But in general speaking, I'm the only reason why I take shit like this is because I understand that this is gonna move up and then turn into an inversion, right? So, all right, enough of that. So, anyways, as you see here, we're respecting both of those popping up. Look at these 4 down candles. 1, 2, 3. Well, technically 3. That's a blue one, but we'll just count them consecutively as down blocks, right? And then take a look. Do you see this candle coming right down and testing that to the perfect level? That's not random, right? Plus, I use this candle here, this up candle. You could use the 2, but refine is this 1. And in refine of this 1 is the top wick, because that's like technically the last up move. So then it breaks through, uses as support. So you could actually just draw this out, and you can see that we're sitting right in there as well. So very high confluence area. So if you don't take this trade, what's the next entry? Well, obviously, when we push up here and we come back, you see how it comes and tags that, damn near tags that wick. You see that? You see how it tags that wick? That's another entry model. Plus, there's a miniature gap in between those 2 candles right here. You see that? And it tags in. That's a very common pattern. To be honest with you, take a picture of it. I mean, this is the most beautiful pattern in the world. Even better than the flower of life, because this motherfucker pays me. But anyways, so that's the next entry. Where's the next entry? Well, anywhere inside this here. Where's the next entry? And we're anywhere inside here. Okay. Where's the next entry? You got it with the blue line right there, and so on. Right. Little imbalance right there, and we tag in it. We push up. Where's the next entry? That imbalance right here. Where's the next entry? Well, this down candle. Where's the next entry? Well, we're inside the gap. Where's the next entry? This imbalance here. So anyways, you get the gist. Well, but when I'm taking this trade, and I dropped the ball today as well, so it's okay, but I still handled business. Still took 250 points out of the market. Now, when I'm here, obviously in a myopic view and I'm a little zoomed in here at this point, but it's whatever, because I didn't want to really trade too much anyway. I didn't like the way the 930 opened up. But anyways, where's my number one goal when I'm taking this trade? I'm obviously pushing up here to wipe out this liquidity here. All right, now that's number 1. Number 2, before we get here and the price is moving up, I understand that the previous settlement of yesterday was up here, which would be the top of this opening range box. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to still hold, because I know the 50%. Again, I didn't know exactly where 930 was until 930 opened. But generally speaking, when we're here, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm going to hold this until the 50% level. This was my my first main target. I took the profit because of the fact that I just hit a key level in the intraday's perspective. So fuck that. I'm taking this, and I wish again that I doubled the leverage, but it's okay. It's no big deal, because this was not easy either. But at the same time, it's just kind of moving fast. So that's that trade. Now I understand, if you look at this chart, I understand all this liquidity right here. I understand these equal highs which is beautiful. And I didn't hold it for it, but it's fine. These highs and these highs, and plus that liquidity that I highlighted with the little circle green, if you recall, from 9:30 of Friday. Remember the drop on 9:30? Well, we'll get to that, but I understood this, and I understood that this could be a big push day. But I also understood that it was Tuesday and that it could have just fizzled out. And also I understood that because we came up here, you might see this as a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. You might try to have sold this. But in reality, the setup here is, well, we already rated, number one. Number two, we're coming up here and we got to 50% of the opening range gap. Number three, well, once you started seeing 9:30 to 10 o'clock, that fuckery, well, that might have told you to stay out of the market too. You don't know if it's not going to go up here or not, right? But general speaking, we're bullish, so, it should. But you don't look at this as a sell, but you can look at this as a target. There's a difference, right? But at the same speaking, these equal highs are way too juicy not to attack it. But I'll tell you what I was looking for. You see that candle right here, this 15-minute? You see how there's no wick above it? I ended up targeting that after I took this out. So I took this out. You get very, very clear that this trade is gone. And it's sad that I have to do it this way just so you can see it. But I would wish again, I don't want to show the trades, but I'm doing this because a specific question was asked to me. So I'm gonna go over it. So as you see, we're pushing up here. Beautiful V, man. Look at that shit. But so anyways, you can see what the targets are. You see the opening day gap here. You have the settlement close of yesterday there. You have the midnight level, also suspect again, just like yesterday. Fuck, man, beautiful. But let me go into this. So then, where is it? Here. So, okay, so look at this mess. So I take the screenshot here. I get out. Why? Well, take a look. We push down right here. And if you take a look at this price action here, you can see that this is an inversion. So let's go back to this. I understand that this is an inversion here. Obviously 9:30 hasn't really played out yet, but I understand that this is also holding price action and possible for a continuation, but the responsible me is supposed to take this fucking out. So if I was to have sat there and held it for here, I would have still won, but I would have not only sit through all that, but the risk of not getting it. So with that being said, what am I saying all this for? So anyways, so we push up here. Then we get this imbalance right here, right? So right now I'm looking for 2 good trades, 3 max, right? But technically 2 good trades. And as you see here, this will play out as well. But remember, you're above a gap. You're literally sitting above a gap. Number one. Number two, I didn't drag it all the way out because I just put it here just so you can see it. But if I drag this out, you'll see that the price action is literally sitting inside of it. Number one. Number two, yeah, it leaks out a little bit, but whatever. Number two, you can see that this is 50%. You can see that we're pretty much respecting that as well. But it was a bitch live. When it was live is different than me taking this screenshot, obviously, right? But we pushed down here. So I actually took a sell here when we came underneath this. And all I was looking for was a retracement back for a counter trend. But the way it happened and so fast, my execution was super poor. But whatever, I ended up making up for it with the buy here. But then I ended up dropping the ball, not holding it. But let me continue. There's a lot to say. So we had the first imbalance. It's always in green for me. You'll see that, yes, we're going below it. Yes, and then you see we dip below a little bit right back to this imbalance. It's just a reclaimed imbalance. It's no big deal. Stretching out, that's fine. But at the same speaking, it's giving vibes of selling, right? As you see on the 15-minute here. But the reason why I messed up this sell here, and it was supposed to be just a quick sell so I could then buy it, but I got married and greedy to what? I was trying to get into this imbalance right here. Look on the 15-minute here. You see in between these candles here with this down candle? You see right there? You see how we came to the wick right here, but we didn't come inside here? I'm talking about right in here. You see that? We didn't come inside. I was trying to knock that and get into there. Plus I had the weekly level. So I was like, man, just tap in there, be beautiful on a buy there. And it never reached it. So it kind of messed with my psychology. I was like, oh, get in there. Why don't you get in there? Well, technically this candle, this down candle, you're already inside the wick of it. So it didn't hit the open. It is what it is. So this, whatever. So then it shot against me, whatever. So then now the price is playing around here. And this, I'm using this inversion right here. You can see that inversion right there. I'm using that for the rest of the day. Well, for the rest of the situation here to see when is it going to hold. Because you see we're going up above it, below it, up above it, below it. It's like, motherfucker, dude. But, so what I did is, again, I still have a strong bias of being bullish, but the price comes down, it tags back into this green bullish imbalance, right? And you see these candles up, down, strong, trying to shake you out. But remember, we're inside this and we're inside here, right? So that gap. So that gap there, and plus, and we're tagging it. So this is when I push the button here, okay? And then what does it do? It pushes up. So then we finally push up. And then when it was coming down, I was like, dude, come on, bro. Like, at this point, my stop loss is obviously right here, right? I have it there. Technically, it was a little bit lower, but because I wanted to avoid the 930 level, but then I moved it up as it went away. But when it was coming down here, I was like, bro, we're well past the 50% level of this down candle, but the bodies are kind of respecting it. You see that? And then it just does a wick. And what is it? What does that wick do? It comes and takes out these two lows right there. So that they're trying to do that so you don't get it, so you don't catch the ride up. So I understood that. But me and the stop loss were like, I was just strong with it. Because I don't need to take a loss. I don't need to even trade anymore. My objective today was accomplished. So that being said, when I took this, where was I taking this? Well, then you saw that we started to respect that bearish imbalance right here. Dragged out. I have it dragged out the whole rest of the way because there is no imbalances. And when you don't see imbalances, that's very tough price action. I was actually going to quit the day, but I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure we're going to come up here. Where am I coming up here? Why am I taking the screenshot here? Well, I have the top 75%. I don't know if it's going to seal it, but we do have the day gap there, and we have the equal highs right here. If you look on the 15-minute chart, but look at that candle with the wick. I'm taking it here. You see this wick? There's no wick right there. So what's above the wick, which is the 75% level, which is why I'm screenshotting it right here. Okay. Obviously we kept going, but this was my target because of you can see it on the 1 minute, no gap. You see this right? There's no wick right there. That is that candle right there. Right. So, or is it? Yeah, it is that one. Yeah, it is that one right there. So anyways, that was it, dude. This was good for me, bro. This was good. And then where also the writings on the wall. Again, you're not selling this, you're bullish. But where are the writings on the wall? Look right here. Look how we're sitting. We can't break below the 50%. Because you're like, and if you thought this was selling, I understand this was a nice mountain. You're like, oh, again, I tried to sell this too. And I tried to get in here and I got greedy. I should have just took it when it hit here and I was done. Because that's all I was really trying to accomplish. But I was like, let them get in here and the opening gap, which is that little purple in the background. So, hey, it is what it is. But as you see, the reason why I stuck with the next trade here, just to get to here, was because also this. Look how it's not breaking, right? You would expect it to go, but this is just consolidating. And it won't bust that 50 level. So that's what this is, just consolidation, bro. But anyways, then we push up here, and as you see, pretty nice. Now I'm done. Now, also another reason why I'm done with this trade is because it's 10:30. Now, in my back testing, I've seen plenty of times where 10:30 will be the high of the session, and it'll just like retrace back and play around and whatever. But and that's another reason why I was like, nah, fuck this. You're good, bro. Yesterday when I had that was my biggest trade, by the way. Yesterday was my biggest trade ever. When I closed it, obviously, but what I'm trying to say is, I was getting overconfident. I was getting a little greedy, and I was starting to witness these emotions and these thoughts and these things come in. So it's like I would rather walk away and not turn this day into a red day when it's a green day, right? So that's how I manage my days. That's why I have a lot of green days, because I don't follow the same mistakes I used to make in the past. But again, as you see, this is all, you see all the price action just sitting inside that bearish imbalance. And when you came up here, same story. It was holding. Let me get off this and actually go to it just so you can see it. So you can see I'll drag it out. You see all that? You see how we're just sitting in that? Now I'm going to move this up to here real quick. Look at where we're going. We're getting there now, buddy. I was upset about myself that I didn't hold. And I could have. But I played it smart and safe. I played it, well, let me put it that way. I played it safe. I was trying to be, I would rather be profitable today than be right. And sure enough, as you see here, take a look. When I took the freaking screenshot right here, and then I started dragging up the stop loss and it took me out. But all I had to do was just keep holding for that trade. Again, and to be really honest with you, I want it to be done for the day. I would have rather go studied my ancient text that I study. I study historical text, old ancient things. I'm not trying to talk about that here, but the point is I would have rather, I wanted to go read that and chill and than to trade. So that's just the flat out truth. I was looking for a reason to be done, to be honest. But what I should have did is or what I could have did, let's put it that way. You see when we came down here and we look how we tap 50% of that imbalance on the 15 minute. That's why the 15 minute is the best. Right? So you can see, so there's no reason to sell. Number one. Number two, you can see that this is how can I say it? God, I want to make videos short, but there's so much to talk about. You could also see that break right there. You can see that, a little pennant right there. You see how we pop above, we retrace back. All right, so there's no reason to sell. You should not be trying to catch no top here. Number one. Number two, you also have all this liquidity and we're bullish, plus the imbalance, plus remember I mentioned all this area? Watch yesterday's video. I was like, I want to hit that bottom low, right? We have the gaps here, and this is a beautiful area. Oh shit. This was a beautiful area. This whole, you see, I mean, I already still there. That's why I was mad at myself, because I knew we were coming up here, but at the same time, for some reason, I just shut down. I was just like, you know what, dude? This, I'll be honest with you, this right here just exhausted me. It just, I was a little impatient today, and it just made me just like, you know what, fuck this. Because what if it does sell from here, right? And this is a lower high, right? So again, but I wouldn't try to catch that. Why do I say that? Why do I say, if you look back over here on this Thursday that we sold from, this lower low, lower high, I trust this more than I trust this. And why would I say that? Because we're at the bottom here. We're at a discount where we have just went all this deep, right? So I'm not expecting for that to sell, right? So, and you're probably like, well, dude, why didn't you just hold? Well, because I wanted the profit and I wanted to be done, and I didn't want to trade anymore. So it's just that simple. I have the right to not keep trading. I don't need to keep trading. If you think you have to keep trading I don't want to be involved in all. So look what ended up happening. Ended up being a floating day. So the price pushes up, sitting, all these down candles are holding support. And why do I say that? Well, if it's a floater day, number one, I don't want to be a part of it. Number two, if you are still insisting on trading it and you see yourself losing, I mean, dude, this is danger. You sit here and you try to catch every top here. Just buy. How about that? Just fucking buy. If it's not going your direction, then you're wrong about the direction. I'm not promoting for you to keep trading, but I'm saying if you were going to keep trading, well, did you just buy the higher lows? Did it fail? Take a look here. We came up to here, right? This was awesome. This was also beautiful too, by the way. When we came up here, what do you have in the factor here? Well, you got to remember that you want to use the macro times when we don't have news. We didn't have news today, so you want to use the macro times. Why is this trade beautiful? Because this is 901. Okay? And guess what? What's over here when I took this trade? It's 902. We're in that window. Okay? And then guess what when we're up here? Well, you're going to say, well, what about the 11? Well, dude, that didn't work. Well, number one. Number two, we also had that midnight level. Look what we did. We came to the midnight level, and I knew that we were going to come up here, but for some reason, I just didn't want to be involved. Sure enough, that was a mistake, as you see. All right, we're all the way up here. But I don't have to be a part of every part of my analysis. So, but I'm when I get big trades like that, you know, I end up getting a little lazy, just to be real with you. But anyways, you see here, take a look. When we came up here, we're at the midnight level. Look how we're dancing, and then boom, this look at 1149 right there, 1150, boom, shoots down, starts that little sell program. 3 drives here, so 1, 2, 3. So just like if you looked at yesterday's here, the drives here, right? Well, that was the same thing, but very, very weak, right? That's to show you that it's very bullish. And then look at the lowest one. The lowest one, not a coincidence. It does get close to the oversold. We've been stuck up here this whole time. That's also showing you the strength. If we're consistently up in this 50% level, I know that. This should tell you right now to never try to catch this top. So this is another learning lesson. This is great, right? This is fun for me because you've got to be learning. Fuck, there's no way you're not. But if you're like, well, I wanted to see a sell come back down into one of these levels that are breakout levels, which would be here and there. I bet you didn't catch that. See this high right here, this 4 a.m. today. That high is also a breakout level. So there's also these levels, and I thought they might have would have came down here, but I'm not interested in trading any of this. I mean, I almost lost interest completely in this because this was completely fucking garbage. But guess what? Higher lows, still higher lows. That's why I bought this, because it was still a fucking higher low. And it's like, don't fight it. I'm not trying to be smarter than I am. Don't fight it. But guess what? There was another thing I wanted to mention here. I forgot. Forget it. But anyways, so yeah, so look at the price. Look how it came down to. Look where it came to. Look to the right of my chart too while I hover this. Look at this high. Look how we hit it. Look at the body sitting there. You see that, right? See that? See, I'm over here on the 15-minute chart, but look at to the right. Look how the 1 minute we tagged that level. And if you are like, oh, why didn't it come to the open? Not the open, the settlement or the opening day gap. That's a dangled carrot. They're expecting you to do that, and they just took off without you because their intention is to take off. So that's another plus of it being really bullish. Number one. Number two, again, well, I'm not trying to get into any of this, but and then so as you see, we didn't come to these highs here, right? Look to the right. I thought they would have though, because of the fact that there's an imbalance on this bullish candle here, this 1030. And then I thought they would have kind of like swept some of this liquidity right there, or at least come to like maybe here, but they didn't do any of that because their intention was to really go up. But what was I saying here? It's look at the time. The time is in the factor. The time moved this price like that. So then guess what? We came above, we sat on the midnight level. Are these levels on your chart? Came up, trying to fake the funk by not hitting this yet. That's what they're doing. And where is that low? Did we hit that low yet? I can't see it. Hold on. No, we did not, obviously. This low right there. We did whoa. I think, did we? Man, let me tell you, boy. I am mad at myself. Close, but no cigar. So, yeah, man. And then they've demolished all that. So I hope this helps with the understanding of, and another reason why you walk away, you have to walk away. Like me, I had to turn off the screens. I had to walk the fuck away because I know myself and I understand what this promotes. And this is over trading, and this is how you'll get into over trading, fear of missing out. Then you start buying up here, and it's like, dude, the day's over. Like if you weren't already involved, now this is where you need to also use this logic here, right? So we understand that this is a high and that's a low. So that's the range you're in. This created a range, right? So hold on, there you go. So when you're in this range, and I mentioned this in some videos prior, But when you're in this range, you understand that you're going up a ladder, right? And you're using these quad levels. Look, so before this price even gets printed, you're going to go do your back testing, but you'll see that the entries before the 25%, look where it is. You can see an entry right there. Obviously, all this that we discussed. Well, now that we move up, we get to the 50%. Look at that right there, right? You see how it pops up and then resells back? That's not a coincidence that it's happening at the 50 level. So where's the next entry? It's below the 50 level. What's below the 50 level? We have imbalances below the 50 level, which is, if you thought it was that one, you were wrong. But it was this one right here, this 925. It's underneath the 50% level. And this is a discounted area. This is an extreme discounted area. All right, and then compared to that range from high to low, so this is why you're also not looking at this as a sell, right? It's because you're climbing up this wall. But the price action here is underneath here, right? And then if you take a look here, we come up to the 75% level right here, right there, right? We retrace back. We retrace back into what? Well, we and I saw this too. This when we came right back to the 75% level of the opening range gap, that was a nice buy right there to hold. That was like to me, this was like your last resort, right? Because at this point, it did come above here, but I'm not playing with this shit, dude. This shit made me exhausted, and the candles are very small, and it's just like I ain't fucking with it. But you see that very clear, right? Very clear. Bouncing on top of that, very clear, right? So again, but the range of the day, also why I didn't want to play with it anymore was 20,724 was no, the high was here. I'm sorry, of today was 697. So let's just say 700, 20,700. And what was the low here? The low is 384. So let's just say that was 420 points. Did I say that right? Yeah. So it's 300. I'm sorry, 300. So there was 320 points already offered in the day. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm good. Because I thought Tuesday, I talked myself out of it. To be honest with you, I talked myself out of it, but that is part of the game, dude. So as you know that. But and then as you see here, when this dropped down, I was surprised that it didn't hit this 25% level. See to the right? But they didn't need to. So you also had an inversion right in here, which I'll put it now for you. And this was kind of like the icing on the cake for not going any lower. Look at that. Can't make this up, bro. Look at that. Look at that right there. See that? Sitting in there, right? So, and where is this located? It's located by the 75% level. So you go back test that, you study that, but these are your high confluence areas when you're pushing up in this type of scenario. So, damn, I know I talked a lot. Didn't mean to. Damn. 33 minutes. Again, so all lower lows in agreement. You had a little lower low there that pushed it up, but it was just it was on its way up. We all cleared the highs here. Let me see divergences going on right now. Everything looks bullish, bro. So I mean, so if let me try to move forward. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it this long, man. Damn. I need to just stop talking. But should we pushed up here? So what did they do? So Dow came closer, lower. Where? We have that gap. So that gap, when I was talking here, I said it would come. This is a big highway. Will come lower. They came lower. Where did they come to? Beautiful to the tick. Look at that. Look at that gap in the background, which is from here, from Sunday the 13th of October. And then guess what? Conveniently tapped in this candle right here. Right here. See this? See this little candle right? See this little? See how we tapped into that? Look at that. Beautiful. Look, if you do the range from here to here, definitely 50%. And then we pushed up here. Now, this is a little awkward. So we'll see. Does this turn into something here? Or is this just now? Well, we have news this week too, but we're on overbought. I would like to see it, it can come down just a little bit more, and then I would like to see it kind of just start going up. But or does this use as resistance? It's kind of almost back to square one. And I know you don't want to hear that, but I wanted to go over the rest of these assets, but like, dude, the amount that I talk, and I can't. But as you see, we opened up above the previous, the open gap of the week. We rush right through. We stuck into this imbalance. We sell down. We stuck into this imbalance right here. We push down. Then we have this nice balanced price range, this little U. We dip right into it, and you breakout trader right there. You could put 50% of that imbalance, whatever X marks the spot. That's the buying. Look at this beautiful oversold here. Took a right where up here. Look at some drives up here. We get right back to the opening gap of today. Wiped out pretty much all the sellers there, and then, dude, I mean, it's beautiful. S&P, same story. Push down. Where did it go to? Oh, you don't say. Right? Dude, these are weekly levels, so you need them. But nice divergence, by the way. Here, look at the 1 hour. Well, this is a 4 hour, but divergence there. We had it on the 4 hour as well. We had it on the 1 hour for us too. See that? Lower low. That's a higher low. Look at that. Another reason why of the buy, but the bodies, that was like really everything. But S&P, back to S&P. I'm sorry, I really didn't make this video long, man. Oh, very clean though. Crazy how they, man. Anyways, look at that gap. Came underneath it, tagged it, boom, boom, back to this gap, right back to that gap. So, bro, if you don't think this is algorithmic, dude, you're tripping. But I need to be done. Nvidia, there it is. And that's what I was saying. Came back down, very carbon copy to this. We came back down, and then boom, we pushed up. Now, do we struggle from here, or do we blast through? Again, we are in that fourth quarter, and I'm looking at the data, and you can see that we get that drop in that rate, which we just did. So now, to be honest with you, I'm expecting. I mean, this thing can come in here or whatever, but if we're bullish and this is still true, I would expect fucking this, dude. Period. I mean, there's nothing else I could tell you. If this scenario works out, that's it. I mean, now, okay, listen, hey, before someone says anything to me, so I would let me just do it this way. Okay, so something in that nature. Anything different than this for these next 10 days? It's November 19, so these next 10 days, we should be pushing up hard. So, and I officially made this fucking way too long. Sorry, because I want you to be able to watch it. I don't want you to struggle. But again, the people who support and actually want to learn and watch this, I know you're watching it anyway. So, but I mean, I gotta explain all this shit, dude. I mean, you've got to have learned something. So I'm sure this was helpful, right? But and obviously when we came up here, came right back to where? Well, the breakout level, right? So that's where we're sitting, and this is where we are. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm always missing something. Oh, before I wanted to show you the 4 hour here, there. See that? See. And that's why remember when I made the example, I was allowing to come back down. Why? Because when we made this low on that week, look at here. Look right. Look to the right. Look to the right. Perfect. Well, let me just draw it. You're like, dude, just draw it. So this is what I was talking about. Look at that. Come on, man. Look at that. So they dangled that on purpose, and then they brought it down, not only to raid, but then to finally seal the 4 hour. See that? So this has price action to the left, but here is a straight shot, right? You have an up and down, right? But anyways, that makes perfect sense for you, right? And look at the 4 hour. Look at the way this 10 o'clock, when we push down. That's why I was saying to stay bullish here and stay strong, that I wasn't too scared about the price action, because we tagged the top of that gap. You couldn't see it on the smaller time frame, obviously. But talking about here, this is where I entered. right here for that other trade, right? All right. Anyways, yeah, man, we've accomplished all this. So do they just like really push off, or is it going to be like the retrace back and all that? And again, this is I'm just assuming that they've come down here. They might not even come deep, dude. It might just be a floater. So I don't know, but you guys take care, and God bless.